Yes, so we will move on to the audience questions now. The first two questions are for Arva. So when you write to 75 publishers, Arva, to each you are sending synopsis as well. Can we do that, or is it confidential? Or and another question, which international publishers would like to work with the Indian authors?
So no, like each agent, and I mainly queried 75 agents and a couple of small traditional publishers in the West. So each agent has a different requirement. Some do not want the synopsis. Some only want the query letter, not even the pages. So they just judge by your query letter and decide if they should ask for more from this particular author. And every time they send a rejection, you need to remember it is not you they are rejecting. It's only that particular work at that point in time. So sometimes you can even re-query that same book after revisions, after say a 6 months or a year. So again, you might get better chances at it being approved by the same agent. So that varies. And synopsis, only a few agents want the synopsis. The publisher whom I got the deal with didn't even ask for the synopsis, only the query letter and the sample pages. They liked the sample pages, so they asked for the full, and within a month, they offered a deal. During that time, I was also shortlisted for Unbound First, which is a special program for debut writers from the marginalized community in the UK. Unfortunately, it's been discontinued, I think, or it's only for authors based in the UK and Ireland. So anyways, I got lucky and I got shortlisted in them with them. And the thing was, they give detailed feedback to all the shortlisted authors. So that was like an icing on the cake. Even if I didn't get that deal, the feedback was really helpful. So this was one. This is one thing. And secondly, yes, why not? Why? I mean, I'm an Indian author. I'm based in Mumbai. So and I got published in the West. So agents and publishers don't see where you are based in. They just want to resonate with the story. If they like the story, if they like your concept, then why not? They will publish. In fact, I know of many Indian writers who live in India and who are published in the West. So I don't think there is any barricade as such that if you are in India, you can't get published in the West. And there is a list available on Manuscript Wishlist and querytracker.net of all the agents and publishers. So you need to go through their guidelines. You need to see first if they accept your genre or not. Make a list. I have an Excel sheet. Now my Excel sheet is up to 200 agents. So because each agent is open only for a particular period. So if you miss that, you miss that period. Like so, according to that, you query. Now I'm querying my second book, so I'm hoping it might land an agent or a publisher soon. And meanwhile, you also need to keep working on another book so that you don't get disappointed that okay, a book is not going anywhere, you're only getting rejections. So all these things matter.
Yeah, Excels are not leaving us anytime soon. Thank you, Arva. So the next question is from Ria to Riddhi. Can you share more details about the workshop about the picture book writing?
Yes, so it's conducted by Curdy Tales once in a year or sometimes twice in a year. It's called the Picture Book Writing Workshop. You could follow their Instagram page or subscribe to the workshop page on their website to get notified of it. And the workshop is conducted very, very professionally. There are so many elements that are like an eye opener for you if you're going to write for children. They take you through everything from how to write the title to how to build a character and how to pitch to publishers in India. So do look out for that on the Curdy Tales page. There are also a few more workshops that I attended. There's one by Julia Donaldson on BBC Maestro. Then there is one by a Portuguese author called Elin Brenman on Domestica. And there's also Ruskin Bond's workshop. I don't know who had conducted it, but I had attended that as well. So keep looking for these. You'll easily find them online and do attend them. They help a lot.
Thank you, Riddhi. So the next question is about lit agents. I will direct this question to you, Michelle. So Hidarth is wanting to know what are some red flags to look out for in agents, or even publishers to avoid?
So if you want to be traditionally published, then anyone asking you for money is a red flag. So if a lit agent asks you to pay, then that's a red flag. But there's a whole spectrum now, I understand, of hybrid publishing, vanity publishing, etc., etc. But if you go traditional, you shouldn't have to pay the lit agent. That's definitely a red flag.
I will add a few points because I have quite had a experience with the lit agents. So money is definitely one thing for lit agents. So there is a model in India which is evolving that lit agents upfront ask for money. At least I know three lit agents who upfront ask money, but I don't think they are they're legitimate, but their model is like that. And the second thing is nowadays some of the lit agents are trying to push their editing services. So when you pitch to the lit agent, they will ask you, will you take up my editing service? And it is not cheap. It may cost around 1 lakh plus. So then, but there is no guarantee that once they edit, they'll get you a publisher or even sign you up. They'll just edit you and that's it. So that is something which you want to consider, like whether I want to go for that or not. And third thing is lit agents, if you're signing up with somebody, be careful about what contract you're signing with them. Because I have had an experience like when a lit agent asked me to sign out everything I do. Like if my book she'll get, or they'll get a contract for it, but whatever happens to the book later on, if it made it into a film, I will have to pay the lit agent a percentage of it. So everything, including films, audio, translation, they had everything covered under their contract. It was like a very big contract, and I read and I felt immediately it's a red flag. And I asked in a very, very good writing group, and they told, don't even go near the lit agent. So these are the things you have to be careful, like what the lit agent is asking out of you. Is it money? Is it they're taking up editing services? Is it about, the contract? Because you have to think about, as a writer who is going to get published, your book is going to get made into a movie, translated, everything you have to think when you are first pitching a lit agent. So these are some things I wanted to, share with you.
Good points. Thanks, Shalini.
I just like to add one point. Sometimes no agent is better than a bad agent. Yeah, I'll repeat. Sometimes having no agent is better than a bad agent.
That is quite a, something to look out for, because you have had experience with directly pitching to publishers. So the next question is on manuscript revisions. We have a question from Astha. So she's saying that her 1 lakh word book has garnered interest from 2 agents, but they're requesting significant cuts to 60,000 words, or suggesting that she split the book into 2. So she is looking for advice on how to revise and cut down, 40,000 words. Anything you want to add, Arva?
I think Shalini had the
Yes, my
experience.
debut is also a contemporary romance, and should I continue? I'll finish.
Yes, Arva, continue, please.
So my debut novel is also a contemporary romance, and publishers are usually looking for novels on the shorter word count side. Around 75 to 80K is actually ideal for a contemporary romance. So what I would suggest is you find out the goal, motivation, conflict of your characters, and depending on that, how is their arc, and I think I should edit this and tell you, reverse outline your book. Reverse outlining is something that will help you get to the core of your book, and you will understand what exactly needs to stay in the main book and what needs to go. So you can read up about reverse outlining. There are many resources available. There's Jane Friedman's website, and there are many threads which happen on Twitter and Blue Sky, which discuss this in detail. So reverse outlining helps a lot in editing your manuscript, bringing down the word count basically.
Thank you, Arva. Reverse outlining is something very new, not widely considered by authors, I think. So that is a really important point. And also I like to ask Shalini, because Shalini, you were talking about revisions a lot, and if there are any specific guidelines on that.
Like, see, the word count mainly depends upon the genre of your book. So each genre, as far as I understand, have a sweet spot for word count. Say romance maybe 50K, but if your book is something like a fantasy novel or something which can have the idea of trilogies and all that, so then it makes sense to have 2 books, because as your agent suggests, depending on the genre, if it is a fantasy book, yeah, there is a chance of having 2 volumes of the book, makes sense. But if it is a romance or it's a crime thriller or something, it actually doesn't make, so you can make part 1, part 2. If it is a crime, even then it makes some sense, because you have a part 1 and there is same investigative officer is going for the part 2 of that. So it's largely depending on your genre of your book. Okay, because you have to consider that, and because 2 agents said this, you have to consider why those agents. So ask them, why are you suggesting this? Is it because of the genre, or if you think that the story is not complete? So you have to exactly find why they are suggesting to part it into 2 volumes. So that is one thing. And if you are planning to cut down like a 40K words or 30K words, I think whatever Arva said, I have done reverse outlining without understanding, without realizing that I was doing reverse outlining. So that, and another thing I would suggest is get it beta read. Get it beta read with at least 2 or 3 people, not just your family. Okay, they'll always say good things about your book, but beta read with some people who actually understand the in the writing field, and ask them where you can cut it out, where it is feeling dragging. I'm sure every novel feels dragging at some point, and that point, so beta reading is another thing. And you can even get it professionally beta read by somebody. There are a lot of agencies nowadays, and tell them that this is what I want to do. I want to cut it out, and where should I cut? They will tell you where to cut. So try to approach this problem not with your emotion as a writer, because cutting out words is very difficult for any writer. Even 1 or 2 words is painful, but approach it in an objective way. And if it makes sense to have 2 books with your owner, go for it. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
I'd like to add something if we have the time on this
Yes,
question as
sure.
well. So I am not very familiar with cutting so many words in a manuscript, but I do want to tell you that there is precedence for this being happened in the past in India. So I'm going to mention Anuja Chauhan for the second time. So she wrote 2 books which I really enjoyed reading: Those Pricey Thakur Girls and The House That BJ Built, and they were both in continuation. Those Pricey Thakur Girls came first, and The House That BJ Built came second. And from what I remember from her interviews is that she envisioned that as one book, which was The House That BJ Built. And when the manuscript became too long, she probably had to cut it down and make it into 2 different books. And those 2 books became very successful, and they were adapted into a successful TV show also on Z. And so it's been a while since I read this, so you can probably research about this online and get to know more about this. So that'll tell you that you're not alone. This has happened before, and somebody's managed to come out of this even more successful than they initially thought. So yeah.
Thank you, Shikhar. So with that, we are actually, at the end of this panel discussion. So thank you, everyone.